good evening and welcome along to the Broadcasting Lounge. We're in Alabama tonight, Barber Motorsports Park, for some V8 action. Bonus Div 1 round tonight. Numbers a little thin on the ground in Div 2, so we've decided to bring you another night of Div 1 action. Alongside me in the Broadcasting Lounge tonight is Corey Kitchen. How's it going, Corey?
Yeehaw, Shane. Yeehaw. We're in Alabama. Yeah. Barber Motorsport Park. Tricky little circuit, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Home to the IndyCar Grand Prix of Alabama, and lots of undulating, lots of long, tricky corners, lots of turning and braking, which the V8s don't like. Which is,
Turning and braking. Oh, it's going to be exciting, and we've got a good amount in here in Div 1 too, so it should be a good night. Round 6. Geez, we're almost we're halfway through the season. A bit of weather here, Shano.
yeah, there's all the data for tonight up on the screen. Partly cloudy out there. You can see the track layout on the right hand side. 21 degrees ambient temperature, 36% humidity with a 12 kilometre an hour breeze, and I don't think there's any rain on the forecast tonight.
Doesn't look to be. No messages from Cheryl.
Alright, so we're into the warm up. We've got 5 minutes of warm up time, and then we'll be grilling up ready for race one. A few cars out there doing some thing. Leo Henning currently running in behind. Trying to work out who that is. Oh, they're going to go side by side here and bump and grind a little bit. Looks like I'm seeing 686 on the windscreen, but I can't see number 686.
Oh,
Oh, 6.
it's
Ah,
666.
666.
Jono
Johnny
Gibson.
Gibson, of course. Reaper
I was
Racing.
looking. I was thinking who else runs that paint, and it was Phil Carpenter, but he's in Div 1. Div 2, sorry, rather. I was going to bring up some points, but realised I had Div 2 points up there, so I will shout them out first while we are looking at them right now. Dan Nolan currently leading in Div 2, and Shane Edgar is 51 points behind in second, Tim Volk in third, Matthew Gerard in fourth, and Heath Mahone rounds out your top 5 there. And I'm going to bring up Div 1. Stand by. So Stephen McCartan has got a 6-point lead over Darren Lobb, and Leo Duncan sitting in third, and he's 51 points back.
Yes, so Stefan having a very strong season so far in the autumn series. And as you mentioned before, Corey, halfway through already, so everybody will be starting to think about where they're sitting in the championship and looking at where they might be able to pick off one or two spots. They'll be starting to eye up where they might be looking to target as a finishing position.
Yeah, they'll be looking at getting a bit of consistency. And, oh God, have a look at these racing trucks, the old safety trucks out there, Joe.
Yeah, the Allport trucks. Sean
Yeah.
McNamara and Aaron Goodrick race control tonight, having a little bit of a battle out there in the safety trucks. Sean taken to the grass. That's absolutely standard.
Yeah, no track limits in the trucks. Yeah, Chris, there wasn't enough numbers in Div 2 tonight, so yeah, the big wigs sent us to Div 1. Yeah, Roger Forberg getting himself a pole position, Shano.
Oh, that's an interesting one. So we'll have a look at the grid in a moment, but yeah, we're used to Stephen McCartan being absolutely dominant, but he obviously hasn't managed to grab the pole tonight.
Good on, is there a Leo Duncan in here tonight? I don't know if he is here.
I'm not seeing, yeah, I'm not seeing his name. I'm seeing Leo Henning, no Leo Duncan.
Right, he was around last night. I did see him, did quite well in the Toyota E Cup, and another one that was out there from here, PVDB, Peter Vanderberg. And I did catch a glimpse of his driver profile, and he shouts out Supercars NZ, so we love you, Pete. You go well.
Absolutely love it when anybody reps Supercars NZ in those big competitions. So just wrapping up the warm-up session now, and we're getting ready to get onto the grid. It'll just be a quick 1 minute, so we'll have to run through this pretty quickly. But as you mentioned, Corey Roger Forbert on pole, Russell Pepperell alongside Stephen McCartan and Leon Ware, second row there. Then down to Graf, Daniel Heddershide, Leo Henning and Michael Jones. Then back to John Gibson, Jared Eccleston, Billy Rowley, Darren Lord, Jason Cossey, Glenn Collinson, Michael Dowell, Tony Lynch, Travis Brand, Peter Vanderberg, Sean McNamara showing 19th, but he is in race control. Then we've got Trent Bennett, Derek Lovegrove, Scott McKenzie, Aaron Goodrick also in race control. Stephen Adams there. And then looks like potentially Nathan Cadman is going to be coming off the back tonight, and we can get down trackside.
Get down on it.
As the revs come up and they are getting ready to go. And they get the green light, and a big moment there in the background.
Yeah, it looked like Leo Henning. He got caught up there beyond the graph, very slow off the line. And he's gone wide
Oh,
again and off the track.
yeah, big drama at turn one, but Russell Pepperell in control early, and we can eventually see them come over the crest and into view. So Russell was able to get the jump on Roger Forbert at the start. Stephen McCartan dropped a position from his starting position of P5. He's down to, his starting position of P3 is down to P4, but looking to make up ground as they come down into the corkscrew, piling in here. Bit of side-by-side action. It's a tricky spot to get two cars through, but I think they might have just about got away with it.
Yeah, Daniel Heddershide has come off, incidentally with Billy Rowley.
Yeah, Daniel just recovering there. Oh, one of the Misfits cars going across the grass there. I think that was Trent Bennett, and he's had contact. Gets sideways. Manages to get out of the way. Billy Rowley there, I think, just checking up as well, recognising that there's an incident unfolding ahead of him. And he's going to pick off Leo Henning as well, as Leo continuing to be in amongst all the chaos. Leon Ware, good first lap, picking off Stephen McCartan on lap one to move into a podium position, but Stefan looking very racy as usual, but not where we're used to seeing him. We're used to seeing him out front, currently sitting in P4, qualified P3 and lost that spot on lap one.
Glenn Collinson's had an incident now as well, so he's dropping down out of P9.
Oh, and Stefan and Leon have got in a tangle there.
Yeah, heavy damage on Deon Graff's car. Front left is absolutely buggered.
Oh, yeah, sparks coming from under the car. That bumper dragging along the ground, and he is struggling to turn it.
Yeah, a lot of tight corners around here. Might be a tough in-lap for Mr. DeGraff here.
Yeah, he's doing a good job so far to drag it back, but you can see currently that front left not turning. It seemed to turn alright when he went on the grass, which is a bit odd. You'd think it'd be more likely to skid across the grass than it would be to skid across the asphalt, but anyway.
Predicts.
Oh, Scott McKenzie getting hung out to dry there. I think I noticed his name dropping down the order and picked him up on the outside of the carousel as Leon Ware makes his way into pit lane, so he's picked up some damage in that incident as well and looking to come in and get a fast screen. You can see the front right sitting in a lot further than it should do, and I think very heavily cambered, so he's done a good job to drag that back as well. Dion has managed to get that back to the pits as well, so both these guys will be able to pick up a fast repair, maybe get some fresh tyres on and a bit of fuel, but not sure they will be in a position yet to be able to fuel to the end, unfortunately.
All right. Leo Henning being disqualified. I'm not sure what happened there.
Okay, that's interesting.
A little bit of chat, just sort of working out a few of these incidents. So racing control kept pretty busy at the moment.
Yeah, normally has to be pretty bad for race control to pull out the DQ cards, so not sure what's happened there with Leo, but certainly race control taking a very dim view, and if they've felt it necessarily to disqualify him tonight, there could be consequences potentially with a further ongoing ban in upcoming races as well, so we'll have to keep an eye out for that. We've got data on Daniel Heddershide crashing on lap 1 here. Oh.
Yeah, Billy put his hand up for that one. I think he redressed as well, I did see.
Yeah, that's just an unfortunate one. It's a tricky spot. If you do go a little bit deep on the brakes, it's very hard to pull it up and not really anywhere to go. Especially on lap 1 there where it's very tightly packed, and he just found the back of Daniel Heddershide's car there and turned him around, unfortunately. Unfortunately, I don't seem to have any data on the turn 1 chaos that we saw.
Okay, so yeah, that, right. We'll let that be.
So this, I think, is going to be the moment involving Leon Ware and Dion de Graaf. Oh, no, I think this is Leon actually recovering. So the incident between them, or the incident that involved both of them, was a little bit earlier. And unfortunately, it doesn't look like I've got data on that either. SDK is dropping the ball on the replay data tonight.
Oh, unbuggy. Yeah, don't forget, end of the race, we're going to work out who has got the most likes on their Anzac paint. A few awesome paints out there throughout last week too, so thank you to everybody that took part in that as well, and the shares, the likes that are going on. There's plenty of them. Oh, there we go.
So that's what happened there. So Leon got a tap from Stephen McCartan, got unsettled, and unfortunately just came across in front of Dion. So unfortunately, I think it's the two innocent guys in that one that cop damage. Certainly no malice from Stefan, but he did get into the back of Leon there, and I think if it's been called in, I would expect there's probably going to be some more to come from that one.
Yeah, 32 laps to get through tonight, and they're going to have to stop for some fuel. And I don't. How many litres did they even have in? I don't even know. I haven't looked, and I'm in the truck, so I can't even tell you. Oh man. What do you reckon around here? I reckon about lap 20. You reckon they'll start rolling in?
Well, I would probably say we normally see them lapping up hitting around the halfway mark for the majority of the field anyway. Um, I can probably go a bit further than that on fuel, but if you know you're going to have to make that pit stop, you get the best out of both sets of tyres if you can do about half of the race on each set. So I would be expecting to see pit stops starting to happen around lap 16.
Right. Yeah. And we have you're going to come in early. The earlier you come in, do you reckon that's going to be the way to go tonight?
Well, it depends on the situation, doesn't it? If you're in a battle, certainly clean air can be very valuable. So if you're not really making progress through the field and you're stuck behind other cars, then yeah, getting in early, getting out of traffic and getting some clean air, getting some fresh tyres on can be very beneficial. You just got to then make sure that later on in the race you can defend those positions that you've gained with older tyres.
Okay, so Stefan McCartan has been handed a time penalty. I didn't catch how many, but it was for that incident we've seen with Leon. So he'll have to serve that at his pit stop or at the end of the race.
Yeah, that was probably expected, that one. Like I say, absolutely no malice from Stefan, but he just got carried a little bit too much mid-corner speed while he was in behind Leon and made contact, and it did rather negatively affect two drivers' races in that one. So having to pay the price for that with a penalty.
Yeah, looks like the disqualification was for intentional wrecking. So that will be a ban handed down as well, unfortunately.
Yeah, so that's not a not something that we like to see or hear about in our races. We like everyone to have a good clean time, and when people are out there intentionally wrecking people, whether it's for retaliatory purposes or other reasons, we just don't like to see it. We've got race control in place to be able to deal with incidents that are called in, so yeah, we definitely prefer that our drivers just call that in, let race control deal with it and not take things into their own hands.
Yeah, it's what we got race control for, and they do an absolutely splendid job. Race control do. They put in a lot of work. You know, you get all those tickets. You know, the people that send in a ticket, you got to go through all of them, and sometimes you need outside help for advice.
Yeah, that's right. And you know, shout out to Sean and Aaron for giving up the time, giving up their time racing where they could be racing on a Tuesday night to jump in and do race control, live race control for these guys. As we got three wide down into the hairpin. Oh, Trent went a bit deep there. Billy's gone around. Trent is checking up to redress, but yeah, he is going to let Billy go. So I was going to say, unfortunately, I think Trent will probably have to take a penalty for that because he wasn't in control of his car. He locked up, ran wide, and didn't give racing room. But Trent's recognised that he made the error there, and he's just redressed that one. But unfortunately, it's put them both considerably down from where they were. But back to what I was getting at, Sean and Aaron taking the time to do live race control for the V8s just means that people get answers live. They make decisions that not everybody's always going to agree with, but that's, you know, that's all part of it. Racing and racing standards are always going to be somewhat subjective, and yeah, they make the call as they see it. They do a great job, and yeah, like I say, they give up time where they could be racing themselves and do a great job to give that live race control.
That's right, and sometimes you just got to have to give somebody the barbecue. We've got a couple of teammates together too. It looks like Jono has come together with Darren Lord. Sorry, Michael Giants. But yeah, while I said barbecue, our weekly sponsor, Shano Devils Cut BBQ, started as four like-minded American barbecue enthusiasts in 2022. They decided to give the world of American competition barbecuing a crack. Currently, they compete in 5 times a year around New Zealand, and they're based in Lower Hutt, towing a tandem axle covered trailer behind a Dodge Ram. And last year, the team decided to enter the catering side of things to ensure the team was completely self-funded while sponsors come on board. So the catering services are provided to clients mainly in the corporate world, but they have included birthdays as well as Christmas get-togethers, so that'd be cool. So if you're planning a Christmas do, you can get in touch with Devils Cut BBQ, and they've got a Facebook page. You just look up Devils Cut BBQ, or you go to Devils Cut BBQ nz@gmail.com, and there is an awesome picture he's put in the given us to have a look at, and it's actually making me hungry. So big thank you to Devils Cut BBQ for sponsoring us this week. It'd be pretty cool to have some meat to give away sometime though.
Yeah, it would be. And I've been fortunate enough to try some of Devil's Cut meat on a couple of occasions, and it is absolutely beautiful. Grant and all the Devil's Cut team really know what they're doing with all that stuff, with their flash charcoal barbecues, and yeah, it's absolutely divine.
Yep, still making me hungry. I think my tummy is just going wow.
You should have come up to the Neckie for Bathurst weekend last year, Corey. Grant catered that for us, put on all the food, and it was absolutely beautiful.
The fire brigade got called too, I hear.
They did.
Yep,
Great
that
weekend.
meat was hot.
Sounds like it's going to be happening again in Auckland this weekend. So, sorry, not this weekend, this year. So,
Yeah, I do hear light plans in the background of a Bathurst get together in the 09. We'll go hang out at Steve Darren's place. He doesn't know it. Good comments in there. Got a howdy from Nico. How are you, mate? And Richard Fache. How are you?
so
11 laps in. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, Michael Dowell putting a bit of pressure on Derek Lovegrove at the moment. They are fighting over P11.
Yeah, Derek Lovegrove up 10 spots. So, and biggest mover in the field, Scott McKenzie up into P6, up 16 spots. Stefan Adams up 15. So yeah, there's Peter Vanderberg up 13. So 4 drivers getting into the double digits in the passes this evening.
Yeah, and a couple of those being Misfits drivers as well. And Trent Bennett was doing very well in that respect as well. Another Misfits driver until he had that moment with Billy Rowley and another driver. They didn't actually catch who the third driver involved in that 3-1 moment was. But whoever it was certainly got off a lot better than Trent and Billy. But yeah, Peter Vanderberg and Scott McKenzie doing extremely well, as is Stefan Adams, all up double digits positions gained.
There we go. The man himself, Grant, in the chat, just finished work. So, have you been feeding people some sweet Devil's Cut barbecue meat this evening? I hope, Grant.
I think he's been working his other job, his main job as a firefighter. Actually, I think he's been on call.
Hopefully, it's not too busy. It's pretty crappy weather out there, coming well and truly into autumn, and we'll have to start planning winter season soon, Shano, and I can't wait. Everybody will be inside. I know the 14th of June we're going to be having a mental health endurance race, and that's all been thrown up in the air at the moment too. But I can tell you the track and the car is going to be the Audi 90 GTO, and we're going to be going to Mosport.
Oh, that's very cool.
Remo, hey guys, I got a race control update.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, okay. Live Wayne Bloor race control update. Take it away, Wayner.
So, car 22 disqualified from the race for intentional wrecking. Haven't done that for a while here at Supercars NZ, but yeah.
Well, I'm
And
glad the
a
boss was in here for it.
10
Yeah.
seconds off and hold for car 051. Unavoidable contact and skill gap, apparently.
Oh, wow. Must be water in Stratford, baby.
Yeah, so
Wayne.
hope you're listening, Stefan McCartan, leading the championship at the moment.
Yeah, he
Unavoidable
is.
contact and skill gap.
Wayne Larkham with all the news from pit lane.
Yeah, that's the one. Alright, sweet, I'll head back down, see if I can get some more juice and
Looking for the Blorco.
shoot back up. I'll bring the juice.
I love it.
Later.
See you, mate. Oh, there you go. Bit of a race control update from Blorco.
This battle continuing to be the closest battle on track between Derek Lovegrove and Michael Dowell.
Yeah, biting it hard. P12, P13.
Closing in very close through that section into the carousel now. Derek runs a little bit wide mid-corner but brings it back to the apex. So that might have actually been an intentional line where he just swung a little bit wider through the carousel to open up the last part of that corner. There's a couple of different lines you can take there.
Oh, we've got Michael Jones facing the wrong way, I believe. Oh, we've got a call for a tow. This possibly could be a safety car. I believe it will be. I think we're going to go to a safety car here. That's some heavy damage on Michael Jones's car, Shona.
Yeah, looks like he's made the Armco on the right hand side of the track there and ended up facing the wrong way with heavy damage. So he's going to need a tow, and where that car's positioned, that's definitely going to require a safety car to deal with that. So Russell Pepperell, our current race leader, I expect is probably going to die for the pits, and he does, and I would expect the vast majority of the field to follow.
Yeah, not quite 16 laps, but close enough. A couple of laps longer on the second set of tyres.
Now here's a question for race control. Is Stephen McCartan allowed to serve his time penalty under safety car?
A busy pit lane. Be good to get some Blorco pit lane action.
Looks like Stefan has stayed in pit lane after he's dropped off the jack, so he is serving that penalty, and he sets off now. I know in the real supercars they don't allow those time penalties to be served under safety car, but whether we allow it here at Supercars NZ, I'm not 100% sure on that, so it'll be up to race control to make a call. If they're satisfied that he's cleared that, then he's all good, but if it's not within the rules, then he might still have 10 seconds added to his time at the end of the race. I think he should be okay though, to be fair. I haven't seen it written anywhere that you can't do it, and normally those things have to be written down in advance for absolute clarity if you're going to enforce those sorts of rules. So I think he should be okay.
Yeah, just gonna have to just put the head down. He's got a few more cars to pass now. He's lost a little bit of ground out of that, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. He's lost track position, and he is able to close up on the back, so the time loss is negated a little bit, but it's no different to if we had served that 10 seconds just before the safety car came out, really, is it? So
It looks like Billy Rowley, he's stayed out. I don't think he has made a pit. And Stonesy's having some internet issues, apparently. There we go, see Billy Rowley
I think,
pulling in to get a lick of fuel.
yes, I think if I remember correctly, we saw Billy do that in a previous race under safety car where he didn't pit when the safety car first came out and then pitted on the next lap. So,
So
not
Darren
sure
Lord
if...
has been down the lane and he has come back in, and I can see he's on a black flag, so maybe speeding in the pit lane there for Darren Lord.
Yeah, probably speeding on pit exit. I wonder if Billy's not getting the safety car calls through to him. Maybe he doesn't have his chat turned on and he's not aware that the safety car is out until he comes into that queue, because it seems to be a trend that he doesn't make it into the pit lane on the lap the safety car's called, and then gets in the following lap after everybody's bunched up and drops all the way to the back.
You guys complaining they didn't hear the call the safety car was out.
Looks like most people, or everyone has been to the pit lane at least once now anyway. A few people have been a couple of times, have been earlier been in to repair damage, and Russell Pepperell is our race leader. He's going to have control over the restart once the safety truck comes in.
Yeah, so he's going to come in this lap, just waiting for the instructions to be told to the drivers. I think they're making sure everybody can actually hear race control, because that would be handy. All teams, ladies and gentlemen, all teams.
Yeah, unfortunately, if you haven't got your radio scripting set up, then iRacing generally turns all teams off as soon as you get in the car. And it has been a very late call for the safety truck to return to pit lane. Russell Pepperell is going to have control now. And as we come around the final corner, he unleashes it now and sets off, get us back to green flag racing. Gets a good restart. Jared Eccleston in P3 taking a little bit of pressure from Daniel Hederscheid. So that's worked out well for Daniel, where he was caught up in an earlier incident and the safety car has allowed him to get back into P4. Pitted on lap 6. So I just wonder, don't know whether that's in the window to get home on fuel or not, but it's certainly going to be a long way to go on a set of tyres, isn't it?
Oh yeah, that is. Yeah, it's going to get a little bit sketchy towards the end of the race, I'd say. And you've got drivers all around you that have got half the tyre life.
And Stonesy, now that he's got some momentum back up, he's managed to pull away a little bit from Daniel, and for a moment was putting a little bit of pressure on ahead to Roger Forbert. So Jared having a very good race, made his V8 Scops second split debut this week and raced quite well. I think from his post, I think he finished about 4 or 5 spots higher than where he qualified after an eventful race. So did a good job there in what is a highly competitive field, and he's out here doing a great job again tonight.
Oh, Glenn Collison in an incident there on the front straight. Just before it, hasn't quite made that lefty onto the front straight.
He ended up in the gravel. He was parked there for a little bit. He's got back going again now, so he might have been just waiting for the field to clear him. He's dragged a bit of gravel back onto the track, but it looks like he's managed to keep that off the racing line, so I'm sure the other drivers will appreciate that.
Yes, take another opportunity to shout out our weekly sponsor, Devils Cut BBQ. So that's American barbecue meat, and from what Shane tells me, it smells and tastes as good as it looks. and they're based in Lower Hutt, and you can get them in for your Christmas parties, your birthdays, or corporate events. So if you're having a big meeting at work, you can order in some Devils Cut BBQ, and looks like pretty good feed there. Some onions and some cold slaw and some really, really, really good looking meat.
Yeah, the meat's definitely the highlight.
Yeah, yeah, and you can get in touch with them through their Facebook page, Devils Cut Barbecue, or go to Gmail if you want to send them an email, devilscutbarbecuenz@gmail.com, and you can get in touch with those lads and organise to keep your employees fed, or your birthday party. Yeah, I wish I lived closer to Lower Hutt, to tell you the truth.
You could always go for a drive at a ferry ride.
Yeah, for some
Well,
meat.
if the ferry actually makes it.
Oh, they are really pretty reliable. You just hear about it more often these days. Michael Dowell, Glenn Collinson currently running around with black flags, and that will be for, I believe, incidents. Yep. So they're going to have to take a tour of the pit lane. Actually, quite a few drivers in the double digits tonight, Shano, so it's one of those tracks where it's obviously quite easy to get an off track, maybe.
Yeah, certainly down through the S's, I think it's quite easy to just run a little bit wide and cut a little bit much of that left-hander. I think a couple of high-speed chicanes as well where you can cut a little bit much. Unusual for these grassline tracks to be high on incident counts. Normally it's the Grand Prix circuits with big asphalt runoff areas where you use up a little bit too much of that and you rack up the incident points. But with the chicanes on this track, even though you are cutting through the grass, there is time to be had there. So iRacing police most of those chicanes quite hard there. Daniel Heddershide just slowing up there. I saw some tyre smoke, so there might have been him locking a brake and running wide. And he might have been just going slowly to recover that. Unfortunately, he did lose a spot to Peter Vanderberg. And now coming under pressure from Scott McKenzie.
Here's another driver who's ventured into the world of Scops recently too, Scott McKenzie. He had a nudge, I think, a round ago at Scops and Div 2 as well, or Split 2. And a bit of, like, you don't really need the knowledge, but I once qualified for Scops. It was Split 3. But it's still, I qualified for Scops once at Imola.
Yeah, I mean, getting into any split in Scops is very impressive because it is the premier Australasian V8 Supercar iRacing Championship, and it's not just the best in New Zealand that you're going up against, it's the best in Australia, and there's a lot of sim races in Australia.
Yeah, there is, yeah. And that was back in the old VF Commodore and FG Falcon days. And I actually was in a Commodore back then too.
Oh, good stuff.
Yeah, I realised I seen the light and moved to the car with the hump of the bonnet. Ross Watson, let's go Misfits. Yes, they are having a great round, the old Misfits boys. Without putting the mockers on them, there's Greg Bennett, Scott McKenzie, Peter Vanderberg, and Roger Forbert rocking around in the top 10.
Yeah, and all of them up considerably from where they started as well. So I think quite often the Misfits guys will agree to sit out qualifying and see how far they can get through the field, and they've done a great job of it tonight. And what I love about them is they always keep it clean when they do that. Quite often you hear guys going back of the grid challenge or pit lane challenge, and fast guys that are normally up the front seeing how far they can get through from the back. And a lot of the time, people that do that don't always keep it clean when they're coming through, but the Misfits guys always do a great job of keeping it clean when they do start off the back, and that is very much appreciated.
Yeah, Roger Forbett, Scott McKenzie, and Peter Vandenberg all rocking with 4 incident points.
Wow.
So, yeah. And Derek Lupgrove, he's another Misfit, isn't he? He's on 6.
Yeah, Derek is also a Misfits, and 6 incident points, up 6 positions. So basically, well, I suppose that means he's got an incident point for every car that he's passed, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's bumping every car that he's passed to pick up those incidents. It could be...
He's got 9. Trent Bennett's got 9, and he's in 9th. So, here we go.
A lot of symmetry there with the Misfits cars then.
Yeah, car 69 as well, we might add that in there.
Yeah, he stole it off someone else, I hear.
Oh, somebody else likes to 69.
No, I used to run the number 69, which wasn't actually just for that reason. It wasn't just for the dirty reason. I actually ran 69 my first season in NZV8 Lights because the retro livery I wanted to do was the old Hydrolink Commodore that used to run number 69 back in the day. So I chose that number for that reason, and then ran with that for a while. And then Trent Bennett came along and always wanted it, and we always fought over it. So I changed my number to 661 after the numbers in the rego of a truck that I was driving quite regularly at the time. Oh, Trent locking the rears into the hairpin after making that pass on Johnny Gibson, and gives that spot straight back.
Your number 6, that is my favourite number. Both my daughter's birthdays are the 9th. Yeah, that's 6 and 9 are 2 numbers that are on my lotto ticket.
Leon Ware and Jason Cossey going side by side.
Dion de Graaf has managed to catch up to his senior Stefan Adams. He's up 14 spots into P10, Stefan Adams. Similar story to what you were talking about with the Misfits boys. He starts near the back, and I don't think he goes out and qualifies. He just goes out there and has some fun passing some cars.
And again, always just keeps it clean, just drives his race, takes his opportunities when they're there, keeps out of trouble and gains positions. Running the identically liveried cars tonight, the Simblacks cars. We can't call them teammates anymore because Team Simblacks doesn't officially exist anymore, but these 2 former Team Simblacks drivers, and obviously Stefan being the owner of Simblacks, these guys choosing to continue to run that livery. Battle for the podium's pretty hot at the moment as well. Stonesy keeping within a second of Roger Forbett, but he's got Stefan McCartan all over the back of him now. Stefan, after serving that penalty, keen to make his way back onto the podium. Russell Pepperell in control at the moment, checking out to a 3-second lead out front.
Yeah, you know he's never going to give up.
Dion's doing quite the climb from 17th spot up until 11th, and his teammates not letting him past.
Well, we just covered this off. They're not actually teammates technically anymore, because Team Simblacks doesn't exist anymore. They're just running the same liveries, same sponsors, but they're not actually technically teammates.
Can we call them twinsies?
I'm sure they'd love that.
Oh, Stefan Adams is going to have to let him go here, is he? He's going round the outside, round the outside. Oh, he's still getting loose, Stefan Adams. How them tyres, son?
Yeah, so Mover and Gruber to watch there, Dion DeGraff making his way through, but Russell Pepperell, like you say, got a good leap on the field.
Yeah, so no more action up in the comms box there, Blorko.
No more action in race control. Obviously, just the yellow, so.
Yeah, everybody's settled into a bit of a groove and keeping themselves out of trouble.
Yeah, that's the one. No more calls. So have fun, guys. I'll shoot back down and keep you updated.
Cheers, Borko.
It's going to stack. We're going to make it stack.
So Stonesy are doing a good job at the moment to hold Stefan behind. There's been at least a couple of laps, I think, with Stefan right on him, and hasn't lost that position yet, holding on to the podium. I imagine him.
That last lap by those top four, Russell Pepperell were 127.42, Roger Forbert 127.55, Jared Ecclestone a 127.47, and Stefan McCartan a 127.45. So they are absolutely mirroring each other basically at the moment.
Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it? That's super tight on the lap times there. I reckon Stonesy would be keen to try and get around Roger Forbert, get a bit of a buffer there and let Roger take the pressure from Stefan, but Roger has just been able to extend that gap a little bit while Stonesy's been looking in his mirrors, having to think about starting to defend against Stefan McCartan, but he hasn't exactly been going offline to defend. But when you got another car that close in your mirrors, it definitely makes you think about where he is and where you need to put your car. Even if you're not necessarily going offline to defend, you start driving a little bit more defensively, just trying to make sure he can't get an opportunity, and he does cover the middle line down into the hairpin, and that's probably the best opportunity for Stefan to try and make an outbraking manoeuvre there. So Stonesy just covering that one off.
And Daniel Heddershire has succumbed. He's come down to get some fuel and tyres to get home.
Yeah, so tried a different strategy after having to make the earlier pit stop. Unfortunately not quite working out for him and having to come back into the lane. So he was caught up in that early incident and hasn't unfortunately been able to recover from that one in the long run.
Six drivers gone over the incident count.
Oh, Stefan got a good run out of the final corner. He gets down the inside at one. There's contact. And he's just checked up to redress that one. So Stefan owning that and letting Stonesy go in front, and this battle can continue. They're not at threat from Peter Vanderberg behind. It has allowed Roger Forbert to just jump out to nearly a 5-second gap over these guys now.
Yeah, so that incident being called in by both of them. So we'll see what happens there.
Okay, so I might have called that wrong where I thought Stefan had owned it. Maybe he was just having to check up because he was a little bit unsettled. Unfortunately, I don't think anything that happened there was enough to trigger data in SDK. So I don't think we're going to be able to go back and have a look at the replay on that one.
Right, so that's just, everything's good. It was readdressed, you know, Stefan didn't take off, so there's no further action on that. wee
That's
bit of
what
a
we want
gap
to
there
hear.
for Stonesy now.
Yeah, that's just reset things a little bit, and I might have been able to get a little bit creative on the data. This might... No, of course it won't, because that's the wrong Stefan.
Yep.
Bear with me.
Something happened to Peter Vandenberg. He's dropped back behind Scott McKenzie and Trent Bennett now as well. Definitely give Scott McKenzie the drive of the night, up 17 spots into P5.
Yeah, that's a very impressive drive. Billy Rowley's had a crash out there.
Oh, I've just jinxed Trent Bennett as well. Sorry, unfortunately. Sorry about that. Oh, Billy.
Oh, that looked a little bit awkward, didn't it?
Oh, yeah, she's a little bit munted.
I've completely lost Trent's name now. Oh, there he is. So he's back up and running now in P7.
Yeah, he just lost the one position to Peter Vandenberg there with his little incident that he had. And we are trying to get a pass done in the background there on Dr. D. He looks like he got it done.
Oh yes, the Trent getting out into that gravel off the racing line there and just losing some spots. Well, losing one spot in the end as a result. Just managed to keep it in front of Johnny Gibson. And I think
So, yeah.
in that process as well, I think Leon just here sneaks up the inside on Jono. So Jono trying to get a spot, ended up losing one unfortunately.
And at Ross Watson in the comments there, team orders, so Trent Bennett had to run off the track, unfortunately. Pretty rough, guys. Back up on the bumpers. You're going to have a little look here. Oh, he's going to try to go around the outside. He's going to have the inside here. Has he got enough? Nope.
He's having to get creative, isn't he? Stonesy's doing a great job to keep him there and force Stefan to start to get a little bit desperate.
Yeah, you'll sleep well tonight knowing you've held off the championship leader if you can hold him off long enough.
He would love to get a podium in Div 1, wouldn't he? That's always any podium's always an awesome achievement. And I could be wrong, but I think that would be his first podium in Div 1.
Yeah, that's got to be better than making split 3 of Scops for sure. Depends who you're asking, I guess.
Hey, at the end of the day, every little milestone for every person in sim racing is worth celebrating because we have lots of people of varying skill levels, and you know, for some people just getting onto the grid in Scops is as good as winning Div 1 would be for the likes of Riha.
Yeah, he's keeping it moving, isn't he, Stefan? He's in the wing mirror for him. He'll be in the other mirror, and then he's in the middle. I suppose he's not giving a wee flashy flash on those lights.
So he takes the title line all the way through the carousel. Stonesy choosing to go out wide. They're starting the final lap now. Russell Pepperell on the final lap. Stefan gets a good run off the final corner again. Stonesy runs it down the middle of the track. Stefan looking to get the optimal line. Thinks about trying to sneak it up the inside in two, but the gap just not quite there.
Love that bit of track. The car goes over that little rise, gets a little unsettled. Stefan's going to the outside here. Going to try and stay there for the... Got a little bit wide, maybe. Caught a little bit of that debris, Shane.
Yeah, there's plenty of gravel on the outside there, and Stefan just not able to get the power down as a result of that. Sonesy holds onto the position for now at least. If there's going to be a move come now, it's going to have to be a creative one. He's got the momentum here though, he goes to the outside. Just has to sit in behind for the moment. Thinks about looking down the inside into the carousel. Swings it out wider this time.
Russell Pepperell, he's across the line to take the win.
Yeah, Russell, well done. P1. Roger Forbett, P2. Stefan's got him. He's ahead. I think there's been contact. Or there's maybe not contact, but certainly an incident. Jared Slow just gets to the line ahead of Scott McKenzie there for P4. The story might not be over though. We'll have to look into what went on there. Peter Vanderberg comes home P6, Trent Bennett P7, Leon Ware P8. Johnny Gibson 9th down the graph, rounds out the top 10. Jason Cossey 11th, Tony Lynch 12th, Stephen Adams 13th, Derek Lovegrove 14th, Darren Lord coming across in 15th now. Michael Dowell currently running in 16th, making his way through the final sector now.
Ooh, that'll be an interesting one to look at. That was spicy, Shano.
It was, as Michael Dowell makes his way off the final corner to come across and claim P16. Billy Rowley having a bit of a messy one tonight. He's lost the front bumper, but he is going to come across and claim the points for P17. Michael Jones let down in the end, actually a couple of laps down in the end, I think P18, but making it to the finish. And I think Daniel Hedderscheid failing to finish that one there along with Glenn Collinson and Leo Henning. So looks like this might tell us the story, what went down. Actually, this is earlier in the lap, so this is where Stefan went to the outside. Okay, actually it's going to be probably this one. So this was just as we cut to Russell coming across the line. I'm not actually sure there was even a touch there.
I think it was. Anyway, glad I don't have to make decisions on that.
Yeah, we'll have a look at it from above, from the chopper cam. That looks like it might be Nico to me, actually. Unfortunately, there was a little bit of foliage in the way on that one. So let's try this. See what we can learn from the chase cam.
Oh, maybe it was a bit of net code.
Yeah, I think there was always going to be contact though, and the question is, was Stefan far enough up there? And I'm not sure he was, but it's going to be Sean and Aaron to make the call, and they're probably looking at it as we speak. Currently, Stefan classified P3, but that could change.
How easily can you bring up Facebook? Even if you go to the community page and find our post with all the cars.
Yeah.
So we've got a winner for our Anzac Paints voting. And Dan Nolan is the one he's taken it out with 28 likes. So the Corvette GTE, the Jigsaw Corvette GTE, takes out first place. Stephen McCartan in the Ford GT will get second place. And I'm pretty sure it's Jonathan Turner is the other guy. I just need to check the race number. Yeah, 15 likes for JT on his Corvette, on his Porsche GTE. Will get in third, I believe.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to bring it up on the stream, but
No, that's okay.
yeah, that's right. We've got the results anyway.
Yeah, no. So well done to those guys, getting sharing their pictures around and getting their friends to give it a like to get them across the line. So Dan taking out first place gets himself a button box thanks to Racecrafts from last week, as well as $20 donation going to his nominated RSA, which will be somewhere in the Canterbury region. But we'll just bring him in here. Congratulations, mate! You managed to take out first place for the paints competition. So you shared your picture around and got your mates to give it a like.
Oh, of course I did. Power of the people, mate.
That's right, power of the Canterbury people.
That's right.
Yeah, no, they band together, don't they? And yeah,
And they need to.
28 likes for you. You got that over the line.
Oh, man, pretty happy with that. Can't complain at all.
No, I'll send you my address for the button box, mate.
Oh, yeah, no, easier.
Yeah, so Stephen McCartan comes in second on 25, and I believe I might have to just confirm it, but Jonathan Turner, 15, comes in third place.
At least I can say I beat Stephen McCartan at something.
Oh, and he's pretty good at winning, isn't he, Stefan?
He is indeed.
Well done, mate.
Talent, that boy.
I hope that button box helps you gain some time, mate.
Look, I'll take at this point anything that helps me with a little bit of pace. I'll take.
How was Div 2 tonight?
Yeah, not too bad. Few lap 1 incidents. We haven't really gone through them too much. P4 for me. Dane Edgar P1, Matty Gerard P2, and Phil Carpenter P3. So he had a good drive to come back through after the first lap mess up, and it's pretty good.
Awesome. Well done, mate. I'll we'll put you in contact with Chris and at Racecrafts and sort yourself out a button box, my friend.
All good. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Cheers to everyone that chucked the like in, and hopefully a few more supporters for the Supercars NZ page and Broadcasting Lounge, and hopefully that'll add to the numbers for the subscriber count and stuff like that.
Awesome. Well done, mate.
Cheers, man.
I reckon we need to get the word from the horse's mouth on that last lap incident.
Oh yeah, bring him out. Right, whip it out.
Johnny.
Hello.
Have you got any updates for us on the last lap incident between Jared Nicholson and Stephen McCartan?
Yes, racing incident and net code. He was up far enough before Jared turned into the corner. Therefore, it's a racing incident and carry on.
Okay, so we can confirm then that Stephen McCartan makes the podium. Jared just misses out.
Yeah, bad luck for Jared. Like, he raced a really good race. And Supercars NZ, we deem front wheel to rear wheel is enough overlap to allow racing. Obviously, and that was at the point of turning from Jared. So, but then Jared left him a little bit of room, and so it was netcode. So Jared wasn't too despondent over comms at the end. So he has joined the chat below. Probably not the same chat right now, but hey, we can't please everyone, but that's the rule. And Stefan, he already had a 10-second penalty during the race for a bit of contact. And again, there was no malice. There was a little bit of contact, a little bit of a tap, and he readdressed at the time. But still, we had to give a penalty because it destroyed a car in the process. So yeah,
Yeah, we did
how's it
catch
cool?
that one as well. It was a good call. It was a good race, and to your
Went
point
fast,
on
eh?
yeah, it did, and to your point on the race that Jared drove there, he did a great job to hold Stefan behind for as long as he did, and we were absolutely loving the battle. And it's a shame that it ended in contact, but it came down right to the last corner, and I'd commented once they got through the hairpin and down through the corkscrew that it was going to take something creative from Stefan, and he got creative by running around the outside of the carousel and managing to
Who
fire it down the inside into the final corner and
who
got it
goes
done.
around the outside there? I don't know many
Yeah.
people that can pull that off.
And previously he had been running the tight line all the way around where he hugs the inside all the way through, and it had been Stonesy was
Mm.
running out wide in the middle to open up the last part of it, and he just completely changed his line to, I guess, just catch him off guard there.
Yeah, old Stefan is pretty lucky. So I guess his championship's growing. Bit of a sad note on the person being disqualified from the race, car 22. That driving's definitely not acceptable in this league. So anyone out there watching wanting to join, if you drive like that, you won't last long. So he'll go through the process of what we do with our demerit system, and he'll get one more shot at it.
Yep, disappointed to hear that it's happened, but pleased that you've dealt with it very quickly there.
Yeah, yeah. It's good when you got the big cheese in the chat with you. You don't see that often. The big
Are
cheese
you
is
talking
there.
about Blorko?
You called him something else. He came back and I didn't. I missed the reference.
I,
I'm not up with
Blorko.
your young fellas, Corey. Not up to date with all
Thanks,
your young
thanks,
fellas
buddy.
lingo.
Thanks, mate. Thank you. You
Yeah.
played my
well,
game, mate.
I
I
called him
blushed. I literally blushed after you said that.
I called him Wayne Larkham, and then
Yeah.
Corey turned that into like Mark Larkham, Larko.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, he's more of a scafey. The guy you just want to punch in the face, really, isn't he? Personally, maybe not everyone feels that way about Scapey. Apologise.
Oh, I definitely feel that way about Scapey, but I don't feel that way about
I think a
Wayne.
lot of us.
It's funny that you feel that way about someone who is that much upper Holden, though, Shane.
Oh,
Just
absolutely. And
absolutely.
don't get me wrong, what he did in a race car and driving from that side of things, absolute legend. But as a commentator, as an administrator of supercars, absolute prick.
I love the way, just the tone of your voice there too was great. Great.
Hey, Sean, just before you go, give us a give us a food review on Devil's Cut BBQ from Bathurst last year. Go.
I would kill my youngest just to eat their food.
Oh,
I'd sell them cheap.
glowing 5-star review from Sean McNamara.
Yeah. Child, he's not very good, doesn't know much. Eats all your food, but I would sell him to eat Devil's Cut. Devil's Cut is. I actually talked to him recently at an event. When they're doing these very special events, there's no free food. I mean, if I knew that before I went there, I probably would have changed my mind. But yeah, it was a good catch up. Just no free food. That's my story.
Yeah, well, that I guess wraps us up for tonight. And the headline tonight is Sean would sell his youngest child to eat Devil's Cut barbecue. So that tells you how good it is. So if you're in the Wellington area looking for some catering, hit up Grant and the Devil's Cut team, and they'll sort you out with some outstanding food.
And I'll come along too, just to help.
Yeah, make sure you send Sean the invite.
All right, boys. Thank you.
And the
Cheers,
invoice, send it to Sean. Great job as usual and race control, my friend. I better let you get down to mediate what is going on in the R18 channel.
Yeah. All right. Catch you, boys.
Cheers, Sean.
You could feel the roll of the eyes then from Sean McNamara.
All right, so and I didn't even ask him if he was happy with the size of the Sim Lab logo, but I'm sure he'll tell me. Well, if he's happy, he won't tell me. But if he's not happy, he will absolutely tell me. So that's all right. If I don't hear anything, I know he's happy. Big thanks to Devils Cut BBQ for being our weekly sponsor this week, and of course Sim Labs and All Ports for sponsoring the Sim Lab V8s for the autumn series as we move forward into the second half of that season, and pretty soon we're going to be planning the winter series. The
Yeah.
Oh, that's a Facebook bot that's posting. Normally we get the Twitch bots, but anyway, um, yeah. Big thanks to you, Corey, for joining me in the lounge tonight.
Yeah, no, you're welcome. And if you want to hear more of me, I think myself and Doug will be rocking. Is it Portimao or do you call it Algarve? Are they the same track?
Yeah, they're the same track.
Cool, because I couldn't find it in your track maps thing, but I found Portimao. So that's where we're heading for GDE on Thursday, and the V8s next week are heading to Winton. So yeah, if you get onto the broadcasting lounge, make sure you give us a like, subscribe, you know, hit the bell on so you know when we're live and all that other stuff, eh? Just, if you haven't done it, do it now for me, please. Like, subscribe. Remember that. Remember it.
Yep, do it now. You can even take your video out of full screen to go and do it while you're listening to us. Um, Big thanks again to all our drivers for coming out and racing tonight. Thanks, of course, to iRacing for giving us the platform to do it all. And thanks to everybody at home for tuning in. We will see you all again next time.